Yeah, 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 yeah. There's been a kangaroo. Bow. Yeah.
Hi, it's Matt here. Today we're going to build the Tower of Sauron from Lord of the Rings series. It's the big tower in Mordor with the Eye of Sauron on the top. So we start off with the two small towers at the front of the sort of fortress underneath the big tower. So as you see, I'm building up cylindrical shapes. I've added detail on the bottom to make it realistic too in the films. We're going to do two identical towers, and then there's a wall in between them and around them. It's building up so it gets pointier at the top, and then there's going to be spires on each one, which I'm building out of cobblestone. This whole build is going to be built out of different sorts of stone, so there'll be like stone bricks, the more fancy stone bricks, cracked stone bricks, and cobble and stuff. So as you can see here, I'm building up, and I've got cobblestone fences in between to give it like more crenellations. So it's going to be identical. Building up here. Right, so here I'm about to add the second spire. I'm using cobblestone stairs and blocks with a fence, a wall on top, in fact, to make it more realistic slope and point. And then once it's done, I'm going to do the large wall around the bottom, sort of fortress-like wall. So it's rather tall, but I've done, you can't really see on screen, but it's a line of stone bricks and then a line of cobblestone to give it more detail, which is more realistic Lord of the Rings. So there's going to be a sloped wall on each side, which are in the lines, cobblestone, stone brick. At the top I'm trying out different sort of details on the top of the wall, but I decided it looked pretty bad, so I just took it away. It was a bit more realistic, but it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to do the identical wall on the other side. Most of the sort of fortress and tower is a bit uneven, it's asymmetrical, but this bottom is, so it looked quite nice. For some reason I've stopped building there, but as I build up with cobblestone and stone brick, which yeah, you can't really see, but it looks quite good up close. Now I'm going to do another tower. If it's a bit, it's realistic to the like the whole thing. It's as realistic as I can make it to the actual Tower of Sauron. It's got slight tweaks and slight bits which I thought would be too hard, and slight bits where it was just a long, boring area, so I did some bits to it. But it's got a sort of another sort of level of the tower now, which I'm building with different details on. Building this out of cracked stone bricks. At the moment I'm building around the back, so you won't be able to see what I'm doing. And now I'm adding different, making it the bit go even higher. There we are. And it's having a stone brick roof and cobblestone in the back, with so it's like a block behind for more detail. Now I'm adding
Okay, you can start now.
cobblestone walls which go up in a sort of pointed shape, and then 2 towers at the back without spires, sort of watchtowers, and then there's a large wall with. Now it's going to start getting asymmetrical. So there's a tower here which has which I'm going to run. Now this tower isn't a spherical tower, it's a sort of hexagonal tower really, or octagonal really. It's got iron bars in the middle which you can't really see, and it's got a circle. And then the top of this is, it gets out further and then has points on the 4 sides. We will later repeat this tower in a different place because that will make it realistic to the actual Tower of Sauron. Now I'm going to do a sort of gate, sort of archway, where troops and orcs can go through. And now I'm starting adding some of the rock face. I'm not going to do the whole of Mordor around it, like all the rocks and mountains, but I'm going to add a slight bit because there's bits of towers built on it, and it's really important. So I'm building up a slope out of stone, which will go back here and over quite a large area. Making sure to make it not even at all, to make it look more natural, whereas the rest needs to look very man-made. I'm adding another... oh no, it doesn't matter. Yes I am. I'm building another sort of wall there, next to the stone. And then here I'm building the same tower as I built down on the right hand side, but higher up. So I'm doing the layers of stone fences and then the circle with the iron bars in. Making sure this tower is absolutely identical to the other one. So if there was one mistake, it wouldn't look anywhere near as good. And finally we add the top bit with the sloped points around the 4 edges. So now we're going to go back to adding some of the landscape of the mountain with stone. So we're going to have a big rock coming out here, sort of cliff, which is going to go down, which I later decided that wasn't big enough, so I extended. I've extended this several times because it just doesn't look very good. There we are, we've got a big rock there. And now we're going to build up a wall. So now we're going to build up a wall into that cliff face, which I've done with using half slabs of stone brick. With now, as you can't really see, but I'm trying out different circle sizes until I got bigger and bigger until I found the perfect size for the bottom of the Tower of Sauron. So I'm building out of cracked stone bricks, as most of this build is. So, although you cannot see at the moment, I'm about to come up any second with the tower. So I'm adding 2 towers. In fact, I think I do 4. I think I do 2 at the back as well. They start off spherical, but I added half slabs, which they started looking a bit more cuboid, but that's not really a problem. They still look quite good. So they're just going to be at the front of the massive tower with the eye on. So I'm building up. This takes a while because it's quite big. I can't remember the exact circle size, but it's rather large. Building this out of stone bricks and cracked stone bricks. Now, you may notice the actual Tower of Sauron is sort of black and dark grey in colour, but since in Minecraft there's only really two things which are black, really, it's sort of just black wool or obsidian, and neither of them would look very good. I mean, it would be a bit... They're meant to be made out of stone, it's a tower. Although the colouring's not quite right, at the end of the day, I think I made the right choice building out of different stones. There's several different ones. So I've made the tower a bit thinner now with lots of detail, which I've put stone brick walls in between. I've never used stone walls before, but I reckon they look quite nice, so I'll definitely be using them again. I've sloped in again, just to make the tower look like it gets thinner at the top. However, not more spindly, just thinner. So here I'm going to do archways in the different sections, and then I repeat this on above, putting cobblestone in between the archways. So repeating this. Notice this looks a bit like a wedding cake, but it does make it look very much like the Tower of Sauron. Again, almost at the eye now, as it just goes over cloud level. As we look up, just so we can get the eye in shot, because it really is quite a tall tower. So now we're just doing the final bits before we get to the eye. So we're going up with stone bricks. Now, as you can see, clouds have been turned off because you just wouldn't see the whole tower in its glory if we had clouds on. But it's night time at the moment, so it makes it look more like Mordor. So we're adding different spikes on the sides. We'll later add bigger spikes on top. We leave these small ones because although it's a bit unrealistic to the films, it does look better in my opinion. So I added small spikes and then got them much bigger because it just looked better. And then above that I'll have more spikes coming out of the two sides with the eye in between. Building up just the final bits of the tower. Now you can't really see in great detail at the moment because it's so far away and the angle's not perfect, but we'll later change that. Here we are, so you can just see me building up on the spikes of the which will hold the eye in between. The menacing eye of Sauron, which you can see all in Middle-earth. So just the final touches, I try out different designs for the eye, finally finished on this one, so it looks spherical and good, which I put torches at the back so it glows at night time. And there we are, the finished Tower of Sauron. This build took 2 hours 22 minutes, which is relatively quick. So thanks for watching and bye.